Good evening, folks. It's October 18th, 2015. Don't even know if you had a chance to catch the Keshe announcement on Friday. I just happened to be able to watch the live stream. I watched about half an hour, 45 minutes of it, till he was to the point where he was passing out these plasma generator devices to some world ambassadors. So I noticed that on their site, I checked it an hour or so ago, and they're well on their way to 40,000 hits, which is quite a few for that particular video and videos in general on their site. So it's obvious the word's getting around in whatever form. What I wanted to do here, though, is to go through that presentation and just pinpoint some segments in there that you guys really need to pay attention to. It's about a 3-hour presentation. I'm sure a lot of folks didn't make it anywhere near through that. There was translation going on, so Mr. Keshe would speak for a minute or two and then a minute of translation, so it was very choppy, very tough to follow along. So what I'm going to do here is put some segments together for you, clean it up, condense it down, get right to the point. And the point that I want to stress and I want you to pay total attention to is the fact that 10 days from Friday, the 16th, which makes it the 26th, October 26th, the Keshe Foundation will be releasing into the public domain their intellectual property on how to create a plasma generator for yourself, for your nation. Everything that's necessary, how to do it, what to do with it. Just like Tesla, Keshe is a modern visionary. And also just like Tesla, Keshe is a true humanitarian. Basically, every ounce of energy that he puts forth is for all mankind, exactly as it was for Nikola Tesla. Listen to what this man has to say. Like I said, I've concentrated on his 10-day focus to releasing this wealth of intellectual knowledge to the world. But hang in there to the end of the video, because I have some vital earthquake data to pass along too.
This system is literally like a sun. It releases energy, plasma, in enormous amounts. It's you now that decides what it needs to be. You decide what would like the energy to end up as. If you like, in a simple way, you can make it into light.
In modo semplice lo potete far diventare luce.
If you like, you can change it into food and fruit. You can change it into medicine.
O lo puoi far diventare medicina.
And if you want to use it, you can use it in a special new systems to create flight with no rocket propulsion. In third world nations like African nations,
nelle nazioni del terzo mondo,
you don't need to spend millions for power generators, for dams, for power stations. And you don't need to wait for the handouts from the West.
E non avete bisogno di aspettare la carità dall'Occidente.
In the places of war like Palestine, you don't need to wait if they're going to repair your power station. You can do it yourself at home. You can do it with local materials. You don't need to import anything. And if you understood the change from 220, 240 to 110 at the same point, you understand very easily you can change into the energy of the orange, a medicine, and consume it at no cost. This unit is made by Keshe Foundation China, for the doctor. So you understand one simple thing. This new unit, what we call MAGRA, which is magnetic gravitational, you can produce create jobs and food and energy in your own nations. The only difference is, as the ambassadors, you are here, we have done all the work for you. We give you the unit,
Vi regaliamo l'UNIT,
the same as what we did before in the Second World Peace.
come abbiamo fatto nel secondo incontro di ambasciatori per la pace,
We give you the blueprint.
e vi regaliamo anche i blueprints.
You take it home, you gave it to your nation, you give it to your scientists, you give it to every citizen to produce it.
Usufruire.
You walk your nation into richness of food, energy, and space, and materials.
Li
It
portate
costs you in your countries less than $10 to a household to free them from everything.
li
Keshe
portate-
Foundation person now in Ghana is teaching in Ghana to the Ghana Space Institute, Ghana Energy Center, Ghana Energy Ministry for the Ghanese to produce this. Tomorrow, the head of Ghanaian Space Agency, Dr. Kala, is here to take a unit for back to the Energy Ministry to start reproducing the units for Ghana to become energy sufficient within the next 6 to 12 months. Today in Nigeria, Keshe Foundation member is teaching the Nigerian authorities how to produce this to walk Nigeria out of lack of electricity, food, and medicine. Behind you, there are members of Chinese Keshe Foundation, which are taking units back for the President of China within next week to be delivered to His Excellency President Xi.
tutto ciò.
Behind you, there is a member who's flying tomorrow to take a unit to His Excellency the President of Armenia and then the President of Georgia, and hopefully within next week, if he's allowed, he flies to see President Putin to hand over one to the Russian government. Amongst you, there is a man who I respect highly. He sacrificed his life. He brought the solution of the Keshe Foundation to Fukushima. He helped TEPCO to be able to reduce the nuclear radiation in the waters of Fukushima, and he's among us. He will take a unit tomorrow back to Japan, to the Imperial Family of Japan, to distribute back to Japan. That now that they're short of energy in so many ways with the nuclear problem, they can support the nation. These are all members of the Keshe Foundation around the world.
Questi sono tutti i membri della Keshe Foundation in giro per il mondo.
We give you the unit free, but it has a condition. Use the unit, the knowledge, the energy, the food to bring peace in your nation and make peace with the rest of your neighbors. We give you access to all the teachings of the Keshe Foundation, how to make everything from the energy, the food, the medicine, free.
Vi diamo
One condition, help us to help you, that by having everything your nationals need, it brings peace amongst us on this planet. There is a very big question and a problem for you as ambassadors. Last time, we gave you 2 years to share the knowledge with your people,
paese,
till we open our patents worldwide for every citizen.
fino a che noi abbiamo aperto tutti i patenti in tutto il mondo a tutti i cittadini del pianeta.
This time, we give you 10 days.
Questa volta vi diamo solo 10 giorni.
In 10 days' time, we open our patents.
Tra 10 giorni noi apriamo i patenti.
We teach every citizen on this planet how to make a unit to be independent of governments, independent of energies, independent of medicine, independent of food. You want to test it, you can do it. You want to take it, you can do it. You don't. The Keshe Foundation supporters runs into millions across the world. In every nation, there is a Keshe Foundation supporter base for existing.
Paesi.
So this time you have 10 days,
Perciò questa volta avete solo 10 giorni,
no more.
non di più.
If I open this box,
Se apro questa scatola,
you'll find out when people have everything, do they need governments? Then is there a need for ambassadors?
ci sarà bisogno di ambasciatori nel futuro?
Because when we have everything, we are at peace, we become one nation.
Quando avremo tutti e abbiamo tutto, diventiamo una nazione unica.
Instead of spending money on arms, when you have no enemies, the money will spend on the citizens.
Quando
This is a very powerful system
questo è un sistema molto potente
for Western nations.
per le nazioni dell'Occidente.
In Africa, in a third world nation, you can make it as small as this. It gives you energy for 30, 40 years.
E ti dà energia per 30-40 anni.
You don't need to recharge it, you don't need to refuel it.
Non c'è bisogno di ricaricarlo né di mettergli niente.
If you use it, you can have enough to feed yourself, to heat yourself, to light yourself at no cost. So it's very simple. 10 days is long enough.
È molto semplice. 10 giorni sono lunghi abbastanza.
It's how fast you want to translate the knowledge to your governments and tell them what is about to happen. We are a modern technology institute. This is the USB stick with a full design, with a full specification, shows you how to make the system, how to connect it, and how to get energy from it. We will, for the countries which they need mass production, give you even the machinery to produce it. In one of the flips, you saw the key, the USB stick. That's where all the patents were released. It's the same principle. Which ambassador would like to be the first to receive the free energy?
So I hope you're letting that announcement soak in, folks. As far as I'm concerned, next Monday, October 26th, is probably the most important day, most anticipated day of my life. X-ray flux has been elevating the past few days, but it looks like it's topping out here on the 17th, producing about 4 M-class flares over the 24-hour, maybe 48-hour period. But the thing we need to concentrate on most is this mystery that seems to be going on. Over the last week, about a week period since the 13th, that's what this query is right here. It's showing one quake along the western side of the United States, going all the way down to the western side of Mexico, clear down to Panama. One quake, 4.0 or above. No way. Does not coincide with other quake sites that I monitor. And I'll show you why here. Since the Keshe megaquake continent separating announcement, I've been concentrating heavily on the volcanic and quake activity right in the Caribbean plate area. So what you're looking at here is a snapshot that I recorded a few days ago of quake activity and volcanic activity using a map featurette that's on the volcano discovery site. And what I'm showing here is quake activity that's showing up clear over to Italy. A couple going across the ocean, one on the mid-Atlantic ridge, not showing up. Shows up on the one site, not showing up over here. Nothing showing up in the Caribbean area, nothing coming down the west coast of Mexico. Yet on the other site, several quakes, 4 over and above. Because I'm monitoring, the only thing I'm looking at is 4.0 quakes or higher. USGS is missing all of them. You can go look at the data for yourself. USGS lets you run queries. It's a pattern I've noticed now. I've noticed it for about a week, that these other sites are showing tons of high 3, low 4 quake activity right in an area that Mr. Keshe said is imminent. Large quake, multiple quake after quakes start going to happen. You know, it's going to kick off essentially a process that's going to separate the continents. USGS isn't showing tons of this data. So here in a second we'll look at one of the source sites right here, SSN, Mexico SSN, has tables of the seismic data, and notice high concentration. The tan ones are 4.0 and above, the greens are 3s, but as you notice in this table, and I've snapped it a couple different days here, you'll see that there's plenty of 3.5s and above, 3.8s, 3.9s, 4.1s, 4.2s. Tons of them. USGS has 1. The site has probably at least 20 4.0 and above, and who knows how many high 3s. What's going on with the USGS? Here's a snap just before I started making this video. Right in that area, as you're coming down the west coast, of Mexico, right where the top of the Caribbean plate comes across and intersects in is this Fuego volcano.